It was supposed to be just another robbery. Get in, get out, retire to somewhere warm with untraceable cash. But on February 28th, 1997, two men walked into a Bank of America in North Hollywood and walked into history. What unfolded was not just a robbery, but a full-blown urban war zone with over 2,000 rounds fired, dozens of injuries, and a police force caught utterly unprepared. This is the true story of the North Hollywood Shootout, the most chaotic, violent, and utterly insane bank robbery ever recorded. Meet Larry Phillips and Emil Madizranu. Not your average stick-up artists. These guys weren't robbing banks for kicks. They were militarizing crime. Obsessed with firepower, strategy, and violence, they stockpiled modified automatic weapons, homemade body armor, and enough ammo to fight a small war. Because why rob a bank when you can storm it like Normandy? They weren't first-timers either. In 1996, they robbed several armored cars, but they wanted more. More money, more bullets, more chaos. So they turned their sights on a quiet Burbank neighborhood and its sleepy Bank of America. Phillips and Emil prepared it like it was D-Day. Modified AK-47s, Norinco-type 56 rifles, full auto conversions, and drum mags loaded with armor-piercing rounds. And to top it off, full body armor from head to shin, like a medieval knight with an AR-15. They thought they were unstoppable, and for a terrifying 44 minutes, they were. They entered the bank at 9:17 a.m., heavily armed, heavily armored, calm, professional, like they'd rehearsed it 100 times. Inside, they fired warning shots into the ceiling. Customers and tellers hit the ground. What they didn't know? LAPD officers were already outside. A patrol unit had noticed them suiting up before the heist and called it in. Within minutes, the streets around the bank were crawling with cops. Then came the gunfire. Not the kind of gunfire you hear in a typical robbery. This was a firefight. The robbers sprayed bullets indiscriminately. Civilians ducked behind cars. Officers took cover behind trees. And then, the shooting spilled into the street. Imagine two men in 75-pound body armor walking calmly through Los Angeles streets, spraying fully automatic fire at police cruisers. That's not a movie. That's what really happened. And the cops? They were outgunned. Badly. Most officers carried 9mm pistols and 12-gauge shotguns, utterly useless against Kevlar-reinforced maniacs with assault rifles. So they raided a nearby gun store to grab AR-15s. No joke. Cops literally borrowed rifles from a local store owner because their standard issue gear was child's play in comparison. For 44 minutes, it was Call of Duty meets Grand Theft Auto. Blood on the sidewalks, screams over police radios, helicopters overhead. The nation watched in disbelief. Phillips, the more experienced of the two, was shot multiple times but kept firing. When his rifle jammed, he switched to a handgun. And when that jammed too, he returned to the gun on himself. A final act of control in a situation that had spiraled beyond insanity. Emil was more tragic. Wounded, bleeding out, crawling behind a car, still exchanging fire until officers finally closed in. He surrendered, but due to a combination of chaos and poor communication, paramedics couldn't safely reach him for over an hour. He died at the scene. No heroics, no getaway, just a body count and a city in shock. In the end, over 1,100 rounds were fired by the robbers. The police returned fire with nearly 650 of their own. 17 people were injured, including 11 officers. Miraculously, no civilians died. But the shootout sparked a revolution in policing. The LAPD upgraded their weapons, armored vehicles, and tactical training. New laws passed. Bank security was overhauled. The North Hollywood Shootout didn't just shake LA. It redefined how law enforcement responds to high-threat situations across America. The shootout became legend. It inspired movies, books, documentaries, even video games. Every slow motion urban gunfight you've ever seen since probably owes a debt to North Hollywood. It's become shorthand for extreme violence, tactical disaster, and the sheer unpredictability of crime when ambition meets delusion. Phillips and Emil didn't walk out rich. They didn't walk out at all. But their story? Oh, it walked right into infamy. The North Hollywood shootout wasn't just a robbery, it was a battle. A brutal, chaotic, and utterly American moment that exposed the thin line between law and lawlessness. The North Hollywood shootout wasn't just a robbery, it was a battle. A brutal, chaotic, and utterly American moment that exposed the thin line between law and lawlessness. Two men tried to rewrite the rules of crime. Instead, they wrote a new chapter in police history, and we're still living in its echo. All that for a bank job.